Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the College Football Week 11 recap. We'll be recapping all the Week 11 college football games that happened today. So, with that being said, guys, let's get into today's video and let's get right into it. So, guys, we'll start with the Friday night game between Northwestern and 19th-ranked USC. So, guys, pretty much in this game, USC pretty much controlled it. I mean, Northwestern they hung in there for about 3 quarters, but USC just dominated late. Let's be honest. USC gets a big win against Northwestern. Good win for USC. Good win for USC. Now, that game was on Friday. Let's go to our Saturday game. So our Saturday games is we'll start with Indiana and Penn State. Indiana controlled most of this game, but then late in the fourth quarter, Penn State they took a lead. They were up 24-20. But then Indiana, with 1 minute left, they drive down the field and then they get like one of the best catches for a touchdown ever. It was a great catch. Indiana gets the win. They survive on the road against a really bad Penn State team. Good win for Indiana. We'll see if they'll go down or not, even though Penn State's not that good. But good drive by Indiana to win the game at Penn State. So clap it up to Indiana where credit is due. Good win for Indiana. Our next game, we'll move on. It will be BYU and Texas Tech. BYU, Texas Tech. Guys, a college game day was here. Texas Tech destroyed BYU. This game could really have been 42-0 if Texas Tech really wanted to, but Texas Tech just couldn't finish drives. That was the biggest problem. And BYU, they just did absolutely nothing on offense. They were shut out most of this game. They scored a garbage time touchdown late. Great win for Texas Tech, though. I thought BYU was good, but I thought they were fraudulent, and it proves it right here. I was completely right about this game. 1,000% right. Even though I thought it was going to be a little closer in this, I always thought BYU was a little fraudulent. I still think they're good. BYU's not a bad team, guys. I think they're a little fraudulent. Don't get me wrong. But they're not a bad team. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. We'll move on to a little game between, next game is Georgia and Mississippi State. Georgia, they pretty much dominated this game. They win 41-21. Mississippi State took a 7-0 lead in this game to start the game. Ever since then, Georgia dominated this game. It wasn't even close, in my opinion. Georgia destroyed Mississippi State. Mississippi State scored a couple touchdowns. They showed some flashes. They had some good drives, but Georgia pretty much dominated this game. So good win for Georgia on the road. And now we get to our 1 o'clock games. Those are all new games. Now let's get to the 1 o'clock games. We have 2 1 o'clock games to talk about. We'll start at Ohio State and Purdue. Actually, this game was very low scoring. Ohio State wins 34-10. Very low scoring game. Very, very low scoring game. They win 34-10. Purdue's not as bad as you think. I know they're 2-8 and all, but Purdue, they've competed in some games, so give it up to Purdue. But Ohio State, they win a low-scoring 34-10 win on the road. So good win for Ohio State at 1 p.m. Next game, Ole Miss wins 49-0 against the Citadels. Not that surprising. That's like literally not shocking at all. Ole Miss wins. Good win for Ole Miss. They win 49-0. They force a shutout. Good win for the Rebels against a terrible FCS school in Iran. I don't know why they schedule these games late in the year, but Ole Miss gets the win. So good win for Ole Miss at 1 o'clock. Now let's get to our 3:30 games. We'll start with Syracuse and Miami on ESPN. Miami, they win 38-10. There's really not much to talk about in this game, guys. Miami they just dominated Syracuse. Good win for Miami at home against Syracuse. Really, really good win. Good win for the Hurricanes. They get a 38-10 dominant win. Bounce back. Can they still make the playoffs? I don't know. We'll see. But Miami gets a comfortable win against Syracuse. They control most of the game. There's not much to talk about here. Now let's move on to Texas A&M and Missouri. They win 38-17. Also not much to talk about here. A&M dominated this game. They're up 14-0 at half. They got a turnover before halftime. And A&M kind of cruised in the second half. Missouri scores a couple points to make it look closer. But A&M can destroy. A&M blew out Missouri in this game. A&M's a really good team. Missouri, I think they're good, but they're not great in my opinion. Missouri is not the elite of great. But good win for Texas A&M on the road. Now anyway, guys, let's get to the game. As an Oregon fan, Oregon wins 18-16 on the road against Iowa. Oregon, in my opinion, guys, it was a sloppy game. It really was. The offense was kind of iffy. The defense played great for the most part until like the last drive. They kind of screwed us. They screwed us a little bit. But then Dante Moore, he comes up clutch in the last drive of the game. Great catch to put us in field goal range and then kick the game-winning field goal to win 18-16. Iowa scored that touchdown. I thought we were kind of screwed at the beginning, but then we bounced back. So good win. Ugly win, but Oregon does get the win on the road against, I think, a good Iowa. I think Iowa's a good team. Good win at Iowa, 18-16. It's always a good win on the road. But I believe that recaps the 3:30 games of the top 25. Let's move on to our 7 o'clock games, and we had a lot of drama. These 7 o'clock games just finished up. Actually, hold up. We're not at our 7 o'clock games. I forgot to talk about this game. 23rd ranked Washington loses on the road against Wisconsin. They lose 13-10. Ugly football game from start to finish. There was not a lot of points scored in this game, but Wisconsin gets the job done. Wisconsin, that's a bad loss for Washington. Washington, you cannot lose that game. Wisconsin's not good. But great win for Wisconsin at home. They pull off a huge upset against Washington. Anyway, now let's move on with our... no, hold up. I forgot to talk about the Auburn-Vanderbilt game. What is wrong with me today? I'm sorry, guys. We're not getting... We'll get to our 7 o'clock games eventually. But let's talk about this Auburn-Vandy game. Auburn-Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt wins in overtime. They win 45-38. They get the win against a not good Auburn team. Auburn just fired their coach. Vanderbilt. Auburn was controlling most of this game, but good job by Vandy for never giving up. Good win for Vanderbilt. They continue their playoff hopes. I think they could definitely still make the playoffs, even with 2 losses. We'll see what happens there. Bama, guys. Now we will get to our 7 o'clock games. We'll start with Navy and Notre Dame. Notre Dame, man, they win 49-10 at home. I'm not gonna lie to you, Navy, it was a little close in the first half. It was only like 28-10 at halftime, but then Notre Dame just cruised in the second half. They win 49-10. Not much to talk about there. And next game, Wake Forest upsets Virginia. We got 2 ACC upsets this week. That's gonna shape the playoff picture in a big way. Wake Forest goes on the road and beats 14th-ranked Virginia 16-9. Really low-scoring game. Not a lot of points scored in this game. But Wake Forest gets the job done to declare bowl eligibility. They get a nice win on the road against a really good Virginia team. Virginia, though, their quarterback did get injured in this game. He did get injured, and they had a backup QB out. And it was just an ugly football game for Virginia. I don't know when their starters returning or not. I don't know. Their quarterback did get injured for Virginia, so that sucks. But just an ugly football game, though. The next ACC game, California goes on the road and upsets number 15-ranked Louisville, 29-26. Very weird game. This game, honestly, was back and forth. But California gets the game-winning touchdown in overtime to beat Louisville on the road. Louisville is still a really good team. Louisville played really well in this game. But California, man. They are a really good squad. California, I think they're a good team. California's a really good team, and they get the win on the road at Louisville. They played a little better. They get the win. Even though Louisville played good too. So Louisville had a good game, in my opinion. But they just come out with the L, sadly, for Louisville. But I mean, can they still make the playoffs? Technically, yes, but they need a lot to go their way. The ACC right now, kind of a mess. The Virginia and Louisville losing is going to do a huge shakeup in the ACC. Because Virginia was originally actually in the playoffs playing Ole Miss in the first round. The playoffs start today before this game against Wake Forest. Virginia would be playing Ole Miss, so that's interesting. But anyway, let's move on to our next game, which will be Alabama. We'll talk about Alabama. And our last game we'll talk about will be LSU and Alabama. Alabama wins 20-9. Very weird game, in my opinion, guys. Alabama, they dominate. They dominate this game. A very defensive game. It feels like actually LSU was driving on some drives, but then Alabama's defense forced 4 stops in the red zone. Great job by Alabama forcing LSU to field goals. Great job. I'll give Alabama's defense credit there. Every time LSU had a chance, Alabama's defense comes up handy in the red zone. It was like 1st and goal, and Alabama forces stops. Good job by Alabama by forcing, not letting LSU score on the red zone. Good job by Alabama there. And then LSU, their offense is terrible. Alabama, they pretty much got shut out in the second half. They only scored 3 points in the second half. I know it was I forgot the full score, but in the halftime, but it was 13-3, I think, something like that. But anyway, guys, how do you feel about this college football weekend in the comment section below? What was your favorite game you watched? Let me know your thoughts about that. Alabama beats LSU. Thanks for watching. Peace out. I'm recording this outside as always. Do you like this outside background? Let me know. Peace out. Bye-bye.